In this video, I'll be showing you how to use scatter plot using TI-84 graphing calculator. So we've done this particular example in class where this is number of the weeks followed by the office box revenue. So I guess the initial week, the movie did $95.3 million. The week after that is $55.9 million, so on and so forth, all the way to the 9 weeks after the opening, it did $0.6 million. So we're trying to model it next as a exponential function. And we know that when x equals to 0, the f of x was $95.3 million. And we know that f of 0 is a. It could be f of 1, whatever is the first value, right? So that is the initial value, so it's 95.3. So a is 95.3. So we need to find b. In another method, what we did was we try to find the common ratio of the consecutive weeks and find the average of that. But the method 2 that we had used was to actually use one of the weeks, assuming that this is indeed a exponential function. We use one of the weeks to estimate, and we generally tend to use the value near the end, and I decided to use week 7 for this one. And when we did that, f of 7 is 1.9. So we could plug it back into f of x equal to a times b to the x. And because we already know what the a is, that's 95.3 right here, guys. And that's the x, and that's the f of x right here, right? When we plug it in, we end up with this equation, and dividing both sides by 95.3, that's what we have. We take 7th root to both sides, or power of 1/7. When we do that, that comes out to 0.57. So now that we found the unknown value of the base b, we could state that f of x equal to 95.3 times 0.57 to the power of x. So that's what we did in class using method 2. So the video here today lesson is showing you how to use the scatter plot on your TI-83, right? On your TI-84, what you need to do is go to Stat and then to Edit 1. Press 1. So we have list L1 and L2. So what we need to do is put in the values of the table that we had. And that was 0. So L1 will take the place of the number of weeks. That will be the input value. And then that was 1, 2. Okay, now that I have entered all the values of the week, 0 through 9, I'm going to go over to right arrow to type in the list 2, which starts with 95.3, like this, and press enter. And just keep entering the values, okay, guys? Okay, now that I've entered all the values, you could quit over here, guys. And let's get back to this particular screen. The way to plot this is to go to second, stat plot. And if you look at the very first one over here, it says plot 1 is off. Let's go to 1. Okay, you could have more than one plot, but let's put in 1. And it's off, but we like to put it on now, so press enter and arrow down. And you have choice between, there are 5 of these. I just go to scatter plot, the first one, and then X list is the input list, right? And you can see on the small screen right here what it looks like, right? But you won't have that luxury with your own calculator. And then Y list is drawn from the second list, L2, right? And the marks will be the square dots, or you could use other ones, but that's what I prefer to use. And I'm going to go with the blue one over here, guys, okay? Now, we need to fix the window. And the way we do that is looking at the table of values, the highest value that we had was 95.3. So we need to have Y max that was actually a little more than 95.3. So let's put 110. And I like to have some negative values. Negative 10 is fine. And I don't want 20 tick marks, so I want to be every 10 or so. And now let's see the input value. It went from week 0 to 9. So I like to have a little space on the left and the right. So negative 2 is good, and maybe 11 or so. Okay, and that should be good. So when you trace it or graph, it doesn't matter which one, you could easily see that it graphed it for you, and it looks pretty much like a exponential decay function, doesn't it? Right? And I believe what else we could do is actually type in the equation to see if it fits nicely. So you could go back to y is equal to, and do you remember the formula, guys? It's 95.3 times the base was, if I'm not mistaken, was a 0.57. So let's put parentheses, 0.57 to the power of x. And let us trace it. And it fits pretty nicely, doesn't it? Right, it does. This one value right there, I believe that's week 2, right? We could actually do that by arrowing to the right, this way. Yep, that's 2, 23.7. It's a little bit off. This was a real-life question, so it probably won't fit the curve exactly, but this is very, very good, very close, right? Anyways, so that is how you use the scatter plot, and we'll talk about its usage more as we move on. But for today, I think that is good. Okay, guys, that's it for this lesson. Have a good night.